Hello everyone, this is In-Game Arts with a little boxing of the offline product gamer review. This is X-Morph Defense, the complete edition for the PlayStation 4. To jump right into it, this physical copy here just says it's just the base vanilla version of the game, so the on-disc version says 1.0. Now obviously we know this isn't true because at the time of making this video there is no updates available, and as well as that this physical copy of the complete edition does come with every single DLC that's came out on disc. So this is the most complete, most updated version of X-Morph Defense that you can get physically, which is extremely nice. Now, I have covered this X-Morph Defense Complete Edition on the Nintendo Switch, and it's almost identical to what everything that the Switch version has. But actually, the PS4 version does have a few extra little things, like the PS4 does support full split-screen offline experience, which is extremely nice. You can play the entire campaign and survival mode with split-screen offline experience, which is extremely nice. As well as that, I did play, as I said, always all my games completely offline with an unregistered account, and I didn't experience any game-breaking bugs or issues, and even I was still unlocking trophies with my unregistered account, which again is extremely nice. It's what I want out of a game, and for my complete edition versions of games, is to be completely on disc. I have covered X-Morph Defense in the past, and I have talked about how it is probably still to this day, my most favorite Nintendo Switch game. So once I discovered this complete edition for PS4, I had to immediately pick it up, and I've been dying to cover it, but I've been waiting to cover it on the PS5, and I just ran through the game all over again and had a blast with the game. The game ran great with no issues, no problems, and even though this is a PS4 game, it feels like it's a PS5 game because the game loads up so fast every level. It's pretty astonishing, really, and the overall experience is just very fun. I've talked about the mechanics before. It is simplistically a tower defense game, but it does it in such an amazing way. It's a mixture of tower defense as well as a top-down shoot-'em-up, where you basically lay down defenses to prevent the enemy from getting to your tower, but you also provide support with your tower, so you can be able to shoot and dodge attacks, as well as place defense in the middle of combat. And I love on easier difficulties, there is no rush mode, where on easier difficulties, you can lay out your traps without having to hurry. They allow you to put up your towers, all your defenses, when you need to. But on higher difficulties, you have a time limit, which, I mean, don't get me, I get it. That's why there's a higher difficulty, but I really love the lower difficulties because I just really love the move at your own pace. When it's in the strategy mode, you take your time, put up your towers where you want them, and then when you start up the wave, that's when all hell breaks loose. It's just really fun. I really enjoy this game, though there are maybe some small gripes, like the commentary, the voice acting of the Marines and stuff like that can get a little repetitive. That can be a little annoying here and there, but that's really my only other gripe, is that the environmentals that you have this almost top-down view, doing certain kind of explosions attacks or kind of angles to figure out where exactly you're aiming can be a little tricky and can be a little frustrating to figure out exactly where your character is aiming or shooting. That's the only two biggest gripes I can think of with the game. Other than that, I just simply love this game. This is still probably one of my most favorite games on my Switch, and it's probably still one of my favorite games I have on PS4. It's definitely within my top 5. I know it's a very niche market because it's just a very strategic, slower pace, but when you start getting into it, building up your defenses and stuff like that, start unlocking more abilities and more towers and stuff, it is just a blast to sit down and play. Now, sadly, this physical copy is only available really in Asian regions, though I do not really know who distributed this particular physical version, as it's not from PlayAsia. The PlayAsia version, though, is a more updated version than the vanilla version of the game. It doesn't come with everything on the disc, so I don't know if PlayAsia produced this one or some other company, and it's kind of hard to find a physical copy, so I will try to provide links down in the description and where I can find a physical copy of it, but just keep that in mind. It could become quite difficult to get this complete edition version on the PS4, and the PlayAsia version is not the most complete version. Just keep that in mind. But overall, this is just one of my favorite games, and I really wanted to come back and sit down and play this game all over again on my PS4 when I had the chance, or PS5, when I had the chance. It was just really enjoyable. I really love the mechanics. What's one of the things I really enjoy is being able to be the bad guy. That's the difference between this game and a lot of other maybe tower defenses, where you're usually trying to fight off a horde of evil bugs or monsters or whatever. This time you're the aliens, you're invading Earth, and the military is trying to stop you. So you're the highly advanced technology, and you're trying to thwart the human race from trying to stop you from taking over the planet. I just love that change of dynamic. Though it would have been nice to maybe play both the human and an alien campaign to be able to get different variables in terms of whether you want to be good guys or bad guys. But I'm glad they chose the bad guys as the only one, if they could only pick one, because it's fun to be able to sometimes be the evil person. And when you finally do take over the entire world, it does feel way more impactful that you realize, yeah, you just pretty much killed the entire human race. And that's, I don't know, it's very neat to me, and I really enjoy that kind of dynamic of it. I don't really know how to go into more details about the game. The game ran great. There was no stuttering, no issues. I never had any crashes or problems or anything like that. The game just ran perfectly for me, and I simply loved it. And the game's graphics and style work really well. The game clearly runs at perfectly smooth 60 frames per second, whereas the Switch version clearly runs at a steady 30 frames per second. So if you want the most optimized, most better experience, the most cleanest experience, the PS4 version is clearly a superior version. As well as I said before, it does support split-screen multiplayer completely offline, which again is just an extra bonus of mechanics, and it also has trophy support. So there's a lot more to the PS4 version than the Switch version. Not to say the Switch version is bad, it's what made me discover X-Morph Defense, but in the end, I simply love this game, and I'm glad I covered it all over again, and I'll gladly sit down and play this game all over again. I just love this game. I still find myself occasionally just popping into play survival mode occasionally here and there. I just love its mechanics and dynamics and just the overall setting of the game. And graphically, I love the way it looks and how it plays. It's just one of the best. The only other thing I probably could say is that I wish it probably had is that when you switch between your stages on your ship, it had a little icon to let you know exactly which button switches particular what kind of ship, because it can be kind of hard to realize whichever you're the bomber, you're the air attack, you're the foe, you're the laser beam. It can be kind of hard to remember every directional D-pad of which ship is where. That's my only gripe. Once you get the hang of it and memorize it, it's not so bad, but in the pinch and the panic moment, it can be kind of stressful to try to find exactly the ship transformation you want to be. But that's just me nitpicking small little things. This is the same developers who made the Rift Breaker on the PlayStation 5, and I simply love that game. It's still one of my most favorite PS5 games I've played so far, and this game is just phenomenal. I really highly recommend this game if you can find a physical copy. Of course, I recommend the Complete Edition because it's just the most updated and most complete version of the game. If you can't get the PS4 version, the Switch version is still phenomenal, but of course the PS4 version is the superior version if you want everything and completely all on disc with trophy support and split screen mode. So like always, thank you all so much for watching this video. I will try to leave links down in the description if you're interested in copy. Again, it's pretty rare and pretty random who's selling it and where it's being sold at, so just keep that in mind. I will try to provide it. Try to look for it if you can. I don't know if it's worth a big bucks, but I can see it become a little hidden gem in some people's collections, especially on PS4. So again, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next unboxing video. Bye-bye!